What's going on? DrumQuig podcast, episode 39. And I said the right number this time for all of you watching. And I'm super excited about my guest today because he made the mention that this is his first time doing a podcast. So we're going to go ahead and break him in and we'll be gentle. And everyone say hi to Zach Noe from KLTR. How you doing, man?
How y'all doing?
Don't worry, we're not live. Nobody's waiting on you. So once again, super excited to have you, man. And just want to kind of jump right into it. Like, tell us about KLTR because we've got conclusions on there. The song only came out, I think, 4 months ago on Spotify, if that, 3 months ago. Kind of talk about the feedback in that process and what it's been like to be, with the band and making music.
Man, being part of KLTR, it's been really, really amazing. We've had such incredible feedback from not only bands that we've played with, but people who have seen us. And even when we release conclusions, people are always saying that it's their favorite song. They have it on repeat. And it's been going really well. And we're also in the process of releasing our second single, hopefully this month, by the way. But everything.
Heck yeah.
And the second one, it's actually going to be a more of a classic metalcore song in a way. Be on the lookout for that one. It's going to be freaking awesome.
Well, it sounds like it. And again, like I was one of those people, I've had conclusions on repeat, just kind of, listened to it, I think, when you first reached out and, really like dug into it. And it's kind of funny in this day and age with Spotify, like on a CD, if there was only one song, it would just end. And Spotify just either, replays it a few times or it plays music in that same genre. So I've even found other bands that have popped up and been like, oh, this sounds great. I'll go back to this. I'll go back to this later. So I think it's really cool the age we do live in when it comes to that.
But yeah, and it definitely helps out the band more, get more attention, which is what they need. They need exposure from somebody who's listening in New Jersey. They're hearing a band from, say, New Mexico for the first time, which is honestly a really amazing feeling that you can reach out to somebody from halfway across the country or halfway across the world.
Yeah. I know everybody gives Spotify a lot of flack, rightfully so, but Spotify has helped me find some of my favorite bands. So I'm like, catch 22 there.
Well, there you go. And yeah, the controversy with Spotify, it's from what I've heard, it's really bad. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you feel like that forces bands to kind of look at alternatives and kind of work harder? Or do you think that, it's kind of like a whatever, at least our music is out there kind of feeling? Like, how does that work for you?
I would say it's a mix of both in a way, because one hand, you're hearing about these platforms that are a little sketchy. And on the other hand, you're also putting your name out there. But yeah, I would say I'm more leaning towards kind of like staying away from this streaming platform because of what's been happening. And you never know you never know if it's going to turn out great on that platform or if it's going to backfire. So who knows? It's a win-win situation.
Yeah, I can imagine. But kind of wanted to focus on you and your background when it comes to drumming because, the guys, it looks like you guys obviously relatively newer in the scene. I don't know how long you've been a band before, and we can talk about that in a little bit, but talk about like, where did you start playing? Like, when was that age where you were like, drums are for me?
And my background, it started when I was pretty much a 2-year-old baby. And that was when I was doing that typical playing on pots and pans, just annoying the crap out of everybody in my family. And when I was about maybe 5 or 6 years old, my dad and my mom knew that I was very serious. So Christmas Day in 2006, that's when I got my first drum set, and it was a Rogers Kid set. So you can imagine how thin those drum heads were. They're basically just paper.
Yes.
And after a few hits on the bass drum, I put a hole in it. So, and I even got more inspired to pick up drumming when I would watch my dad and his dad play. And I got even crazy inspired when I first watched a DVD video of Striper when they played in Puerto Rico. Yeah,
Man, did you just pull out Striper?
yes, I did. Just seeing Robert go crazy behind the kid, it just fueled something in me that has been going on for the next and hopefully for the future generation of 20 plus years of my drumming career.
That's insane. I don't think anybody's. I don't think. I think my dad was the only one who brought up Striper on a show, so I think that was pretty cool. Like, I think we talked about it when I talked to somebody before, but wow, I didn't see that coming. Like, I didn't see him being like the inspiration, like Robert being the inspiration. That kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, and even when I got to first see them live, 2009 at House of Blues in Houston, and it was me, my uncle, and my cousin who tagged along with us, and my dad got us VIP, so I got to see the band members. And when I saw Robert, I was kind of shaking a little because it was so different seeing him on screen to in person. That day forever changed my life, honestly.
That's so cool, man. Like, I mean, 2009. If you five, what were you like, 9 years old, if that?
I was about 8 years old. Yeah.
Jeez, I can't imagine seeing Striper at 8. Like that's
If nobody has seen Striper live, you need to go do it now because it is a completely different animal. I freaking love their live shows.
yeah. I know they're coming closer this year. I think they have an Orlando show. I hope I haven't missed it already, but no, that would definitely be something. Just because Striper, like not a band that everybody's talking about, but a staple in the music
Mhm.
industry for gosh, 40 years, 50 years. Sorry guys if it's less than that, but don't mind me looking it up. I mean, 45 years. We're looking at 1981. So I wasn't even born yet. So that gives you an idea of how like insane, just insane. But we're going off on a tangent there. So we could now I'm looking up like tour dates. So don't mind me. Like, but anyway, sorry. Bringing up Robert kind of puts us on a different path of like, who else was your musical inspiration? Because again, I don't know anybody who's ever said Robert. And I think that's the coolest thing ever because we're all influenced by different people in different walks of life, in different genres, and whatever the case is. So I feel like who else is the inspiration for you, or was the inspiration, and who are they now? Like who are those people that are inspiring you to play each and every day?
Still to this day, and this might be a little bit of surprise, but it's still my dad. He's still my biggest inspiration to keep me going because he taught me everything I knew from Gene Krupa to Dave Weckl. Yeah, Dave Weckl, he's solid. Yeah, Steve Ferroni and
Love
Buddy
Dave.
Rich, all those guys, and he's still my favorite drummer, even though he's not a famous one or whatever. But I also have some other drummer inspirations that I very much look up to, such as Matt Greiner from August Burns Red.
Love Matt. Love Matt.
I love Matt too. He's such a nice guy. I've met him 2 or 3 times, I bet, and I've taken a lesson from him as well. So that was really cool experience.
I bet.
Yeah, from a legendary metalcore drummer like him, I don't know how you can't get shouldn't get a lesson from him. Yeah. Who else?
For sure.
There's also Giuseppe Capilupo from The Devil Wears Prada and Haste the Day.
Yep.
He's a very solid drummer. Another guy, his name is Adam Gray. He plays for Texas in July. Yeah, there you go. Love that. Love those albums.
Can't believe you just pulled the Haste Today. Texas in July, again, is another underrated band.
Yes.
Haste Today, I want to talk about that for a second because Giuseppe came out and played with them and just has absolutely crushed it. Like,
Mhm.
just a perfect fit for the band. I mean, I was there for the farewell tour in 2011, and I thought that was it. I thought there would never be a chance to see him again. And I love We've Got him making new music. I just ordered one of their jerseys. Sorry, Joe, I didn't cheat on you. I just got one of their soccer jerseys. Coward is literally behind me right there.
I see it.
Like Pace Today is a huge influence. So Giuseppe has done so well, in this
Mhm.
modern iteration of God. I can't believe I used the word iteration. This modern lineup of the band, just
Yeah.
because they've given life back to the band. So thankful to all the guys for doing that. But anyways, continue.
Dave Weckl is all. So continuing, yeah, Dave Weckl, he's also another inspiration. Stanton Moore, Ash Sohn, Aaron Spears.
Galactic. Oh,
Yeah. Uh,
Aaron.
yeah.
That one hurt.
Yeah. That was very, very shocking to see. And
Yeah.
who else? There's another guy named Devin Attard. He plays for The Word Alive, and he used to play for a band called Hollow Front. And I recently saw him again in
Okay.
San Antonio, and he's a phenomenal drummer. I've also taken lessons from him. He's helped me unlock certain aspects of my playing that has definitely improved whatever I was struggling with times a million. So I definitely give him the credit for helping me out with that.
Dang, man. What a lineup. What a lineup. It's like an eclectic style of music to really kind of round you out. And, it kind of shows in the playing because even from the little that I've heard, like there's just a style that you guys are trying to create in Kilter.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to hear like the next song because you said it has that more classical metal feel to it or the metalcore feel to it. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's gonna kind of help you guys shine and, show this genre who you are, the fans of this genre really who you are.
Yeah, and it's also good for bands to show some more flexibility in your genre. You can still take the aspects of what you're trying to create, but also pulling elements from other bands that you've also grown up on and that you still listen to this day. And that to me is the best formula for great success for any genre of bands out there. It could be a Led Zeppelin type of feel with I don't know, more of a hard rock song. I would say, I don't know if that makes sense, but I guess that's just what we're trying to
Yeah.
do is,
To a drummer, of course it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. It's just the drummer brain. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, and when you listen to people like Dave Weckl, like I saw Dave when I was a kid, and then I got to meet and see him play just a couple months ago. And that was probably one of the coolest experiences ever because it had been about 20 years. And shout out John Spinelli once again for letting me know that Weckl was playing at a place called the Dak Shack. It's a daiquiri shack that does live music. And Dave was doing a pop up where no one knew he was coming unless you were told he was coming. Like there were no advertisements, no anything. And I get there and somebody comes up to my table and I said, "Oh no, I have a friend coming." And the guy looks at me and goes, "Is your friend Dave?" Like looking around and I was like, "No, it's not Dave." I was like, "I wish it was Dave, but I was like, I don't have that relationship with him." But watching him play, just effortless the way he did, and he looked like he was just having a blast. So yeah, I'm all about that, especially Weckl. Stanton Moore, Galactic, love his playing.
Mhm.
Super, just fun to watch more than anything at this point. So
Oh yeah.
another band I would love to see, but I think I have to go to New Orleans to see Stanton play, and I'll make that trip.
I've been wanting to go to New Orleans to go see him play for a while. And
He played.
I also got to, my dad took me and a family friend of ours. He took us to go see Dennis Chambers play at Antone's here in Austin. Yeah, the Dennis Chambers. That dude was just, he didn't have to try. Even when he was trying, it was still mind blowing. But he's just one of those players where he does this all the time, and then the crowd goes wild. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm puny compared to his play.
You're like, you're like, I'm just a guy hitting the drums at this point. But I love one of my favorite Dennis Chambers videos is just him playing while drinking a beer, and he still makes it look so easy.
Yeah, he's just playing triplets on a single foot, and then he's just taking a sip of his beer, and that was it. My dad
Yep,
even, I believe
like
he
it was
still,
nothing.
yeah, I believe my dad still owns the VHS tape that he made, and it is when he had that really beautiful old school light blue pearl set. I can't remember what it was.
I know exactly which one.
I can't remember
I
the
know
title.
exactly which one.
Oh boy, I still watch some videos of it, and I'm just amazed.
Hey guys, want to take a moment to just talk about Florida Drum Fest happening September 20th in Eustis, Florida. Come on out to the show. There's going to be vendors, there's going to be prizes, there's going to be other podcasts, Rum and Drums podcast, which I'm super excited to meet those guys and really talk to them, as well as my buddy BJ, who's going to be sporting the first ever non host of the DrumQuig podcast jersey. So super excited for him and I to debut those jerseys. We're going to be doing little mini interviews and kind of compile it all together. So anybody who stops by the table, please come say hi. Please talk to us. And yeah, let's have fun. Tickets are on sale. They're like 10, $15, guys. Go get them now. So there was two it could have been. It could have been In the Pocket or Serious Moves, but
I
I'm
believe it
thinking
was
In the Pocket.
In the
Yeah.
pocket. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And yes, my dad had that one as well. So that is
Good. You
right
had the
there
best
along with
childhood. You had the best childhood if you had that VHS
listen,
drummer.
Hudson Music did right.
Yeah.
That one, Mike Portnoy's In Constant Motion. I think he did one before that, but any of those that you got to watch. And it's like now we don't need a VHS. You can pull up any of those videos. You can pull up every drummer in real time that you hear about. And it's so crazy how easy it is for us to access and look up these people, in this day and age for sure.
But yeah, and I still kind of miss watching it on VHS though some days, but being that it's a certain niche that you have to find a VHS player now or a TV that has one, it's definitely difficult, but it's really cool to, physically pick one up and say, I remember watching this as a kid. This is what also inspired me to pick up sticks. So yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Dennis Chambers. Like literally cannot go wrong with somebody with that immense amount of talent. I know Dad met him years ago, if I'm not mistaken. We've got to figure out. We've got to dig through and find our box full of autographs somewhere.
And pretty soon that signature is going to be worth a lot.
What killed me is that a few years ago we went to Seattle and we randomly stumbled across Victor Wooten playing in a club. Like we just happened to be in town when he was there. And I know that Dennis plays with him or has played with him in the past. And I was so looking forward to, I was like, oh my God, I might get to see Dennis Chambers. And I walked in and it was one of the Wooten brothers. And I'm not discounting him at all because he was fantastic. But I just remember being like, man, I wish it was Dennis Chambers.
But there's a man,
So
I'm trying to remember. There's also some other drummers that not in just in the scene where my band plays, but a little bit bigger now. They're pretty much in the modern metalcore scene. Definitely listen or watch any videos of Zach Mayfield from Oh Sleeper.
okay.
He is a very, very solid drummer. I even accidentally ran into him, but I didn't fully see himself because it was really dark and it was in San Antonio. So you can imagine how just loud everything was. I basically felt like I was blind. And I texted him one day saying, "Oh, dude, I didn't know that was you. I didn't know you showed up there." Because apparently they were playing at that same venue the next day. And I'm thinking, man, I just missed out.
Jeez.
Yeah. I missed out on seeing them. That would have been a very fun concert.
For sure. Listen, man, this is a good year for concerts, at least in my book, just because of like, you know, we talked about Matt Griner. We've got him playing with August Burns Red playing with Under Oath and Atreyu all playing together, which is going to be just an incredible show. I cannot wait to see all three of them in the same room.
Yeah.
Getting to see Trivium play in a couple months. Haven't seen them in years. I haven't been able to catch them. So I'm super excited for that, especially with Alex. I say Alex, but their old drummer was Alex Bent. Now it's Alex Rudinger. It's still Alex. So I mean, I feel like the guys in the band could accidentally call him the wrong name and go, sorry, actually, no, that is your name. Sorry about that.
I have never been able to find the time to go see a band like Under Oath or Trivium, but watching,
Oof.
I would very much love to see Aaron Gillespie and Alex Rudinger play live because their technicality is just so precise and it's very definitive because it's theirs. It's their own technicality.
Yeah.
And it's extremely difficult to emulate that no matter how many times you can play their most famous song over and over again. And what's really great about
And still not, yeah.
it's no one else's, it's their own. And that's what's amazing is that there's drummers out there, no matter what genre you're playing, you're creating your own. And that to me is very, very, very awesome.
Well, yeah. And I feel like a lot of people forget that, like, Aaron left the band for a while and Daniel Davison was playing,
Mm-hmm.
and Daniel was incredible, but he just wasn't Aaron. And it's nothing against him.
Yeah.
He wasn't Aaron. That'd be like anybody played in Matt's place for ABR. Like, whoever they got would be absolutely incredible, but it wouldn't be Matt.
Yeah.
And I got to see Under Oath a couple years ago, and I remember being on the side stage, like from the ground looking over, and I'm looking at his cymbal stand, and I go, "It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall." And there it goes. And I just literally watched it tumble off the stage. And
No.
I wanted to stop it, but I'm pretty sure that would have gotten me kicked out of the show. So sorry, Aaron.
But who knows? Maybe he didn't see it until after their set. Who knows?
No, he was beating the crap out of that thing. That's one of the things about Aaron is that Aaron hits those drums harder than so many people.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he doesn't break more stuff on stage. I really don't. So kudos to the setup he has and whoever, who's making sure that stuff stays where it needs to be, because man,
Yeah.
that's a Limp Bizkit break stuff kind of situation.
He's definitely paying whoever is his drum tech, he's paying him real good to keep everything durable.
Yep.
Kudos to that guy.
Absolutely. Use the same heads from last night? No.
Gotta change
I don't
them every
think so.
day.
Probably. I'd love to find that out. I got to meet Aaron twice, years and years ago. I actually was in college and I had a friend reach out and say, "Hey, Aaron's playing a jazz set at this coffee shop in 10 minutes." And I got the text and I got up and just left class. I just left because I was like, it was right down the street from where I was. And I remember the next week my teacher was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I just had to go." Wasn't going to tell him that. I was like, I just had to go. Like,
Yeah. It's important to me, but it's not important to you.
they don't ask any questions after. Yeah. Pretty much. And, the funny part is that I was like, I had driven an hour to get to class. And had I not been in class, I never would have made it there in time. So I was already at, 10 minutes away when I driven that far. So,
Yeah.
and then in 2016, I think House of Blues, I got to see Under Oath and go backstage and kind of say hi to the guys. But by the end of those shows, man, they are exhausted, like beyond exhausted. So,
Yeah, I definitely know how that feels. Even just playing for 25 or 30 minutes, I still feel very, very drained of all my energy because I'm using whatever I had left back into playing. And then I still got to load everything back in my cases and put it in my car. So it's definitely a process, but the recovery process is never pretty. It never
No,
is.
but you see these drummers who are in their 60s and their 70s who are still playing, and you're just blown away
Mhm.
by the flexibility, by the durability, by everything that they're doing. So I think it's a testament to taking care of yourself really gets you further in this for sure.
But yeah, and I have been working out for the past few years, and it's really helped me a lot to stay in shape and stay as energized as much as possible because you're basically in the perspective of how an athlete would feel after running a mile or 2 miles, and it's almost a sport at this point. And you're lifting heavy things too, which is also
Yeah,
it's it's a pain, but it's part of the job.
exactly. So going on that, do you guys have any plans for any like bigger tours or like mini tours coming up? Anything that you guys got in the works that you could talk about? Or is it kind of still figuring everything out and figuring out what comes next?
We do have a 3-day tour that we recently announced. It's with our good friends in Orion Falls. They're from San Antonio,
Okay.
and we're going to be hitting Corpus Christi on September 11th. Then we're hitting San Antonio on September 12th, and the last day is in San Marcos on September 13th. And it's going to be a really good test to see if we can be a tour worthy band, even if it's just for 3 days or even two. I kind of wish it was a little longer, but then again, most of the guys in the bands that we're playing with, some of them have families, and wives, and two of their members actually live out of state and they have to fly to Texas.
Jeez.
Yeah, so their their bills on paying for flights. It's kind of I bet I'm not entirely sure, but somehow that works for them. And what they've been doing for the last few years now, I would say 4 or 5 years, it's been a great trajectory for them, and they're really really amazing people.
I mean, it sounds like and again, a 3-day tour, like you want to do more, but you also want to see what you guys are capable of. And I think that's a good starting point when it comes to a tour. Just a small try it out first because touring is not cheap. So
Yeah,
you gotta put all the eggs in the basket there.
but yeah, and we've even traveled to a couple of other cities before, and even just going there for one day. We're actually going back to Fort Worth to play at the Rail. So lodging for that, it's still going to be a bit much, but it at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it because now we're expanding and we're getting our name out into another city that can possibly want us back.
Yeah, for sure. I know one of our, I say guest on the show, but friend of the show, Jordan Jensen, he's in Get Me the Knife. He's out there in Texas, so I'll have to see how far away he is from you guys because he's a good dude to know and a phenomenal drummer, hands down. So
I think I've heard of them. I don't think yeah, because we haven't played a show with
you
them, but
probably heard of, let's say, you probably heard of Dark Sermon because that was the band he was in before.
probably not. I'm sorry to admit that.
Like, probably not. Dude, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. But, for this part of the show, I think it was kind of a nice transition to kind of talk about, you just told us everything you've got going on, all the shows you have coming up, but take this moment for, anybody you want to thank. And I feel like I know who's coming first. It's going to be Dad. So take it away, man, and give that thanks.
And definitely thank you to my dad for passing down this amazing talent and being a third generation drummer. It's something that I take a lot of pride in. And obviously, without him, I wouldn't be to where I'm at because he pushed me to my limits to be better than him, but also still be the same person at the end of the day that people who personally know me as a quirky guy or a funny guy or basically be the best humble person that I can be. And thank you to you guys for allowing me to do this podcast. And I'm always down to do more in the future whenever I'm not busy, depending on what my schedule is looking like. I hope
Heck
you
yeah.
guys are also doing very well out there in Florida. Hope y'all stay hydrated too, especially in this time of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you kind of touched on a point because obviously, like, I've always talked about all the drummers that influence me, but I've somehow neglected ever saying dad. But I've always talked about like how much he has influenced me. And
Mhm.
like we still talk music every single day. We were literally talking about music this afternoon. You know, he's in North Carolina. I'm down here in Florida, but we still make it a point to talk about things and we'll, discuss current music trends or drummers or whatever the case is. So I feel like I kind of need to, make sure to include him when it comes to influences because he's the first influence, the person who got me into everything that I do and kind of opened the door for me to expand and find what I liked instead of just what he liked. But we do like a lot of the same stuff. So there's, I think there's a large overlap. So, that was the brainchild behind this was him and I doing this when he can do it. So yeah, I think one of the next times would be super cool. See if we can't definitely get you back on for sure. Absolutely, man. Because we got to hear more about this third generation drumming because that doesn't come up very often. And we didn't even scratch the surface on that one.
Whenever y'all want to do this again, I'm down to talk to anything.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm going to take the moment. This is, our shtick where we go through. Just want to thank Jerseys for Drummers. The jersey you guys see in just about every episode for the last, I think, 20 episodes. Ordered my new one. Hopefully, it's going to be here in the next few weeks, but you will not see it on the show until Florida Drum Fest. That is September 20th in Eustis, Florida. There's going to be other podcasts there. There's going to be drummers there. Derek Roddy's doing a blast beat clinic. I'm so excited to see that. So I haven't seen Derek in probably 15 years. So super stoked for that. I know Jordan's going to be in Florida for that. So I'm excited to see my buddy again. And just, I want everybody to come out and have a good time. It's 11 to 5. It's not like it's an all weekend thing. There's going to be drum makers. And again, one of the coolest parts is that with the new jerseys, I'm also bringing a guest of mine, my probably one of my best friends, BJ, and he's going to hang out with us. And we're just going to do interviews at the table. So we're going to have a lot of fun and do, just anybody who come over and talk to us. I don't care if you've been drumming for 5 minutes or 50 years. Like everybody's got a story and we'd love to hear it. And Stay Tuned Records, love Doug and Amy. We talk about vinyl and tangible media and all that. They're just a great couple that's own a local record store and always give them a shout out any chance I get. And yeah, really excited, man. Had a pleasure talking to you and going through everything. And we'd love to have you back. So, on behalf of myself and the DrumQuig podcast, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you again for having me.
Of course, man. Take it easy.
And you too. You have a great rest of your day.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed the show, please like, share, and subscribe to the DrumQuig podcast. Thank you so much.